For most of us, our first, and sometimes only, taste of racing comes on the streets. If you love cars, this is where it all starts. In the empty parking areas, and on the city streets where you race your mates between stoplights. We do this in the very first cars we owned, or the ones we saved up for later. Then we fiddled with the engines and the suspension until they went faster, and added stripes and stickers so they looked faster too. It's the same around the world, whether it's on Japanese mountain roads, on Britain's back lanes, or America's superhighways. We're talking about affordable heroes, cars that bring performance to the people. Whether they're smoking around a parking lot or hammering along a city circuit you designed yourself. They aren't the most expensive, and they won't win every drag race. But they all prove one thing. You don't need $1 million to have a car with a big heart.
Each volume contains 3 series. You'll get to choose which car you'll use for each one. You are now entered in the Challenger series. Each circuit in this series will challenge different aspects of your car and your skill as a driver. Let's go choose what kind of car you'll be driving. Each division contains a group of cars from a specific car subculture. Select one of the highlighted divisions below to choose a car from its roster.
Japan, home of the noble art of drifting. Made famous by cult movies, manga comics and console games, all of which celebrated the street racers who baited cops with midnight runs through big cities before escaping to twisty mountain roads in their homegrown coupes, slithering to freedom in clouds of tire smoke. Two doors on a small car, lightweight, pokey, skinny-tired, rear-wheel drive and affordable. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet it takes guts for a manufacturer to produce cars like these. Cars that take the demands of practical motoring and place them on the non-existent back seat. Because really they're made for one thing, driving, even if you have nowhere to go.
Based on that most useful of car layouts, the hatchback, these cars are all about power, performance and, of course, practicality. Hot hatches are cars you can drive every day and in every way. Small and responsive, they're perfect for bombing around tight roads, and when you're done with that, you can use them for shopping trips and other boring things that get in the way of proper driving. These are cars that pack big performance into a compact space, and they come from all over the world. Often they're the fastest versions of a particular model, and they squeeze every last drop of power from mass production engines. They also have more aggressive suspension to make them corner better, plus chunky body kits to help them fight the air and stand out from the others.
If you recognize the cars in this group, it's because you've seen them on TV, flying through icy forests or clinging to a cliff in some far-flung corner of the world. Based on competition rally cars, or at least inspired by them, they have four-wheel drive, big turbochargers and wings more suited to light aircraft. You feel like you could drive them anywhere, and that no matter how ambitiously you enter a corner, everything will be okay. Probably.
The 60s and 70s were all about experimentation, and the cars were no different. Instead of relying on big V8s for performance, some manufacturers extracted as much power as possible from smaller engines and concentrated on making their cars fun, light, and good-looking. So these were things you could really throw around, which meant they inevitably found their way onto the track, paving the way for touring car racing as we know it today.
This is your 2003 Nissan Team Forza Fairlady Z. You're all set up to race in the Super Street Challenger Series. Let's go! The first race of this series takes place at Watkins Glen, a course that favors powerful vehicles that can make short work of its steep elevation changes. Forza Motorsport 6 is a realistic simulation that features several assists to make driving approachable for everyone. In the Assists menu, you can adjust these settings to experience the full depth of this simulation. You can modify any of the assist settings to tailor your driving experience to be just the way you like. Removing driving assists will require you to exercise greater control of your car, but it will also increase your race payouts. New grand prizes have been added. This happens at every driver level, so keep playing to see what's next. You won credits. Your next race takes place in heavy rain at Sebring International Raceway. Racing on a wet track poses several challenges. Tires lose grip easier during cornering, braking distances are longer, and deep puddles accumulate, causing a risk of hydroplaning. Showcase events give you a chance to drive some of the world's fastest cars in events that highlight what makes each car special. You have unlocked your first showcase event. There are many kinds of showcase events, from autocross to passing challenges, organized into separate groups. You have earned access to this showcase group. Select it to learn more about these exciting events.
The motorsport pyramid is rocky and steep, and very few drivers make it to the very top. Only they know what it's like to race at Le Mans, or Indianapolis, or Bathurst, in cars tailor-made for the occasion. In these showcases, you can get one step closer to experiencing these races and glimpse into the life of a professional racing driver. Here you'll drive the world's greatest race cars on some of the most famous circuits in international racing.
These events are all part of the Race Driver Experience Group. Select this event and we'll enter you in your first showcase race. Your next race will be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the famous Indy 500.
IndyCar, America's ultimate single-seater championship, in which cars must somehow remain grounded while doing 230 miles per hour on a banked oval. So aerodynamics is king, which is why these look unlike any other single-seaters in the world. In fact, every team must use a standard Dallara chassis, but can choose between a Chevrolet or Honda engine.
You have completed your first showcase race. You'll be invited to many more as you continue your career. Now, let's get back to the Challenger Series. We now head to the circuit at Long Beach, a course formed by closing off several streets in downtown Long Beach. There is little room for mistakes on a city course like this, as the entire layout is bordered by temporary concrete barriers.